When I say logic gate, what do you think of? Probably in your mind, you will think of transistors, not gates, AND gates, or gates, their related truth tables, and many zeros and ones. However, what I'm talking about today are not the traditional logic gates. Let's explore logic gates in biology. So how do we create these logic gates and circuits in cells? Before that, we must first understand basic cell biology. In cells, we have the nucleus, which contains DNA as a double-stranded helix, and specific segments of it are called genes, as they code for protein. DNA is used to form proteins via the central dogma of biology. DNA will first be transcribed to RNA before being translated to proteins. Like how we can translate words from one language to another, we can similarly transcribe and translate genes from DNA to a protein product. This protein product can be a fluorescent protein that is detected in a cell. Can you see the resemblance to electrical circuits? When we use logic gates and transistors, we have outcomes of zeros and ones, which can be visualized in a circuit as simply whether the bulb lights up or not. Similarly, in a cell circuit, the use of genes that produce fluorescent proteins can be used to indicate an outcome of either 0, with no fluorescence, or 1, with fluorescence. Now that we know how outputs are visualized, how about inputs? In traditional logic gates, we have inputs in the form of an electric current. For cells, the inputs are the components that control gene expression. To do this, certain proteins are required. For example, RNA polymerase is required to transcribe the gene. Another protein will be repressor proteins that will bind to the promoter of the DNA, preventing RNA polymerase from binding. If we were to put these outcomes in a table, we can see that the repressor is the input while the protein is the output. Hence, the presence of a repressor leads to no protein expressed. Conversely, its absence will allow for RNA polymerase to bind and thus lead to a protein being expressed. Can you see a similarity between this system and one of the basic logic gates? Indeed, the output-input relationship of this system resembles that of a NOT gate. Now that we have covered repressors, there are also activators that are involved in gene transcription. Activators are proteins that are required to bind the DNA first to allow proper positioning of the RNA polymerase for transcription. Therefore, we will need two inputs, RNA polymerase and the activator protein. Can you visualize how this may mimic an AND gate? Let's draw the truth tables to have a look. Starting with a scenario where nothing is present, this will obviously lead to no protein being transcribed and an output of 0. When both are present, there will be the fluorescent protein expressed and hence the output is 1. However, what happens if the activator is present but the RNA polymerase is not? In this case, no transcription occurs as no RNA can be formed without the RNA polymerase. Transcription likewise will not occur without the activator, as the RNA polymerase will not be able to bind at the correct location. Looking at the truth table constructed, you can now see how this biological system corresponds to that of an AND gate. This video has described two simple circuits that can be seen in a cell, but things are often not so simple. Researchers in synthetic biology are explaining how to use logic gates to explain phenomena not only in cells but also in viruses, explaining the process of lysis-lysogeny action in a virus. While it looks complex, note the presence of basic AND gates and NOT gates scattered in the diagram. Hence, you can see for yourself how these basic gates, originally applied in electrical circuits, can be extended to explain biological processes.